African entrepreneurs could provide the spark needed to rejuvenate the continent's economies. Here and elsewhere, the pandemic has wreaked havoc on financial growth and big business. Today, African entrepreneurs, in partnership with SMMEs, industry experts and business leaders, will converge to find ways to grow our economy equitably. For more on this, I'm joined by Percy Marapedi-Koji, the co-founder and chair of the African Economic Leadership Council. Percy, very good morning to you. How's this going to work? What's your aim here?
Good morning to you too, and good morning to the listeners. Well, thank you very much. I'm currently in South of Moons. I flew in last night. We're excited to be launching the Africa Economic Leadership Council, which seeks to, collaborate and create a platform for entrepreneurs, and in such a way that will help them to resuscitate their businesses. What
help do they need?
So basically, what we are trying to do is to re-look into the current systems that are in place. COVID has proven that the manner in which business was conducted in the past has some loopholes or challenges that need to be attended to. And how we are doing this is we are convening the launch of the Africa Economic Leadership Council today, which will be blessed by the presence of Africa's Continental Free Trade and Secretary General, Mr. Mene. And we're launching this in Namibia, particularly to try and facilitate support of entrepreneurs. I mean, as a South African, I come from South Africa. I'm based in Johannesburg myself. But the ultimate goal is to create a more collaborated effort to facilitate such.
Because, I mean, entrepreneurs and SMMEs, I mean, they could really help resuscitate the continent's economies if they get it right, couldn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, the most critical element of any economy, is to pay attention more on small businesses, because your big companies and governments depend on small businesses to provide services. In return, that helps to actually grow the economy and also to increase the tax base. So what it literally means is that if we pay attention more in supporting small entrepreneurs, we're actually paying attention to growing the economy.
And what do you think African entrepreneurs can bring not only the continent but the world? What is it that we have? What's our unique selling point?
I mean, Africa is a growing sort of continent, if I have to put it that way. We have a younger-ish population, and I think this presents us with a greater opportunity. You would agree with me when I say our continent has become a center of attention from all the global economies around the world. So it presents a greater opportunity right now to look into collaborating in a more effective way that will allow us to contribute back in our own local economies, particularly in specific countries across. But our more collaborated approach is of that has to help us to actually grow the economy in such a manner that doesn't isolate other countries from each other. Like, for example, in South Africa, we have a challenge where the growth of small entrepreneurs isn't that significant at this point in time. And what do I mean by that is that there hasn't been a lot of investment or attention paid to that particular sector. So as young entrepreneurs, our ultimate goal is to make sure that that changes. And also,
and we've really got to, or governments have really got to tap into the youth, don't they, considering we have the youngest population continent-wise?
Exactly, yes. That's particularly the point, yes.
Okay, so how do you then deal, so we've got this new merging talent, how do we deal with the problems that we face on this continent? Many other countries have it as well, corruption, bad leadership. How do you overcome that?
I think, part of the reason why we're here in Namibia and launching this Africa Economic Leadership Council and also collaborating with Africa Continental Free Trade Secretary General and the government of Namibia is to particularly address some of the issues that you are raising, that, there's no economy that grows when there's corruption. Corruption eats away from the innocent and from normal citizens like you and I. So the only way for us to fight the scourge of corruption is to collaborate as a business sector, but become one voice that speaks to government, but not only speaks to government, but collaborate, engage, but also support. so that we don't become an enemy to our own government in the continent, but we become more partners. The issue of corruption has to be addressed on a constant basis, including in South Africa. I mean, South Africa is not unique to this. We're coming out of COVID where over 500 billion went missing, and nobody seems to be held accountable for that. So it is platforms like that where instead of becoming more confrontational, we have to engage and understand what is it that such platforms require, particularly in government from the private sector, to engage, to make sure that we drive businesses that are more ethical, that are more profitable. But also, if we do things accordingly, there's no need for us to focus more on what we shouldn't be doing, which is, taking away from the voters or the citizens. But what is critically important is to make sure that we work together, we do away with the corrupt way of doing business or of engaging government. And in that way, this will help us to grow the economy. I mean, there is enough opportunities to be created, including for entrepreneurs. And I think what has been lacking in South Africa for the longest period of time is that a lot of entrepreneurs depend on government. And in most of the time, this has led to people depending on tenders. So I think those are some of the issues that we're trying to address. That we can capacitate entrepreneurs without allowing them to depend on tenders, because tenders are not the only platform to create businesses.
Yeah, those things have got to go. Interesting comments, Percy. I look forward to seeing what you come up with after this meeting, and hopefully you'll also be tapping into the green economy.